I am probably going to pick the Guardians as my division favorite for next year, with the Twins probably as the other option. The White Sox really need
White Sox.
I can't do it anymore. I can't keep falling for their.
I don't have PTSD. You have White Sox PTSD.
I'm Guy Pearce and Memento. I'm just gonna get "Don't believe in their lies" tattooed on me about the White Sox.
Well, there's more time. We have all the time in the world to get to our preview series and all that good stuff. So who knows what can happen here. Last big signing that we have not touched on yet, Carlos Rodon. We touched on him a little bit with the Giants, but he goes to the Yankees. Jon Tayler. How do you feel about the fit with Rodon in New York and not Queens?
I think it's a great fit for the Yankees and for Rodon. A very straightforward pitcher, power fastball, power slider, probably one of the best sliders in baseball, a very good fastball to go with it. There's not a whole lot of moving parts or kind of extra to Rodon. He goes out, grips and rips it, and I love that. I think for the Yankees, they had reached that point in the offseason. I mean, obviously they brought back Judge, but they pretty much passed on more or less every other impact hitter available on the market. Obviously did not go anywhere near any of the shortstops. I think if you're looking at the Yankees, you could say, okay, what would you want to address here? The outfield? Well, there aren't really any good corner outfield options left at this point. You're probably just going to have to try to make it work with some combination of Aaron Hicks and Giancarlo Stanton and whoever else in left field. Or maybe that's something you address in a trade. Who knows? I know they were talking about Max Kepler for a bit. You know, the Twins, obviously, and having signed... who was it they signed now that they need to make some room? Did they sign anyone?
The Twins?
Joey Gallo. Yeah, they signed Joey Gallo.
Yeah, Joey Gallo, yes.
So obviously they're going to do some outfield shuffling, but I guess the other position would have been catcher, although I know that, you know, Jose Trevino was very good for them last year, and Wilson Contreras was really the only impact addition available there, if not Sean Murphy in a trade. Obviously, shortstop, I think they're very much committed, it seems like, to Anthony Volpe eventually getting that job, or maybe Oswaldo Peraza. The other thing with the corner outfield stuff is I kind of doubt anyone left on the market at this point can really outproduce Oswald Cabrera. He seems like a pretty good option out there, maybe as part of that group with Hicks and Stanton, depending on what they want to do. So when you look at it, it's like, okay, the rotation is really the one last place the Yankees not only could make an impact, but also where there was an impact player available in Rodon. And it's also, part of it too is that Toronto got better this offseason. The Rays haven't really done anything, but they're still the Rays. Baltimore should be better. I am not going to talk about the Red Sox. This is as much about creating that space between New York and Toronto as it is about, well, this is the last guy really who's going to be able to make that kind of impact. Because the nice thing about Rodon is, this isn't like we need to. It's not like with the Giants signing Sean Manaea and being like, he needs better health and we need to work on his repertoire and we need this, that. No, Rodon, you just plug and play. It's like when they signed Gerrit Cole. It's like, no, we know exactly what we're getting and it's going to be really, really good. I think it makes
Cabrera's an everyday player for them next year.
I think not in a regular position, but as a kind of jack of all trades utility guy, yes. I think he'll be playing around the infield. I think he'll probably start 4 times a week.
Okay.
I would guess, depending on how things play out injury-wise. But yeah, I think
sign somebody else. I wonder if they sign another outfielder.
I just don't know that there's anyone left on the outfield market who really makes any sense for them. I don't really see it because at this point, with Michael Brantley down, and Brantley was only really nominally a corner outfielder. Your best bets in the outfield who are still available are Jurickson Profar, David Peralta, Will Myers. That's not a great list. Like
Jackie Bradley Jr.
Oh boy.
Wait, Tommy Pham's still out there.
Pham is pretty much at this point a platoon bat who is not really a good. That's kind of the thing. Every one of these guys is not a starter, with the possible exception of Profar, who is at this point basically an older Oswald Cabrera
with the Yankees. Goodness
it's
gracious.
A good question, and I'm curious to see. He's a guy. If you're a team that needs right-handed power off the bench to face lefties, if you're a really lefty-heavy lineup, obviously a good addition possible there. I think the other thing with the Yankees is they presumably would want some left-handed offense, which means that they're more. I mean, maybe a guy like Peralta makes sense as a reserve. I don't know. Maybe Corey
Michael
Dickerson?
Conforto for the LOLs.
I think Conforto is the one potential impact outfield bat still left, but I also have to imagine the teams after what happened last offseason are probably extremely wary of signing him to anything other than a one-year deal with a lot of conditions attached. So I imagine that Conforto is probably going to be one of those guys who's still available in free agency going into spring, or maybe not going into spring training, but definitely who should still be available in January. And I wonder if the Yankees will get involved in that, if they will feel like, you know what, screw it, we'd rather just plug him into left field and see how he does. And if it doesn't work, well, we'll figure something else out. I think, but that is also probably predicated on being able to dump Aaron Hicks somewhere and being able to rid themselves of what's left of his contract.
That's fair. John, we'll end on this. Who is having the worst offseason thus far?
Whose name doesn't rhyme with the...
You can't do the Red Sox.
No,
we've done too much torture here for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are a few different ways you can look at it in terms of teams that should be doing more because of where they are. Like, honestly, I don't like the offseason the Dodgers have had. I don't like it. I understand it in the sense that everyone they've signed has made sense within, but like signing JD Martinez, for example, they effectively traded JD Martinez for Justin Turner. Martinez signs with the Dodgers. Turner goes and signs with the Red Sox. So I get the presumable